on the first day of the 2023 Seafair. This is a pretty important year for hydro racing in Seafair because it's the first year that the Gold Cup, which is the oldest trophy in motorsport, is coming to Seattle for the first time in 38 years. So to experience a little bit of that history, we are going on a ride-along in one of the vintage hydroplanes. Hydroplanes are really fast race boats that skim over the surface of the water. I've never been in a motorboat at all, so I have no idea what it's going to be like or feel like to be going 120 miles on the water. And I'm really dying to know exactly how these cranes work and put the boats into the water. Hydro and Boat Racing Museum in Kent manages all of the vintage boats that are here today. It looks like there's 4 or 5 and they're generally kept in the museum. But I was also told earlier that almost everything in the museum has been repurposed and is actually functioning. So even though most of the time the boats might just be sitting there, they are actually functioning boats that you can take out on the water. That's the one I'm going to be riding in, the Pay'n Pak. It was built in 1973 and won a Gold Cup in 1974 and 75.
You'll love it.
Okay, that's encouraging to hear.
It will be loud, so I'm sure my brother will tell you set of earplugs.
Right.
And the helmet too.
Right.
And it'll still be loud because you're sitting right behind the engine.
So before around the 70s, the hydroplanes were made out of wood, and if there was a collision, it would basically break apart and there would just be an engine left. And so at the time, the safest thing was to have an open cockpit and no seatbelt because it was actually safer to just be injected as opposed to sinking. Luckily, that is not the case anymore.
Apparently the Budweiser guys went down and they met with a manufacturer, whoever was making the canopies for F-16s. If it has one little defect or whatever in the canopy where that might affect the pilot's vision, they throw them away. Well, we could use them. The Budweiser guys did it first. They put an F-16 canopy on it, and then they put a roll cage inside of it too.
They're going to start up the engine. It's going to be loud.
Okay. Should I step back? I don't have earbuds or anything. So luckily, someone I met warned me that the boats would be firing up, but it still made my heart jump a little bit. It was just really loud, really intense. The sound of the engine is very overwhelming, but still, I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. Are there any hand signals I need to know, or?
They will say faster, slower.
Go to faster, slower. It's pretty crazy. It looks like the drivers get in after they lower into the water, which is good news. I honestly had no idea. I was slightly worried about that.
You excited?
I am really excited. Almost happening.
It's fun. You'll think it's cool. It's unlike anything you've ever done. It's awesome.
Do I need to know where the kill switch is?
No, because it'll happen if I fly out of the boat.
Okay.
So if I start to go, just kick me out.
Clear to go.
I started getting actually nervous once I got into the cockpit, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're taking off. hard to describe the feeling, but it felt like almost we were more on a jet than in a boat, which makes sense because we are gliding like 4 or 5 inches above the water. So there were some bumps, but when we were going straight away, it was really cool. I was just looking at Mount Baker in the distance. The turns were not as fun. The turns were kind of scary. The driver and I were really packed in there, so we were just getting thrown side to side against each other. Felt like I could kind of fly out if I was not holding on. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
I'm glad to see your smile.
Yeah. That was wild. Oh my gosh. I liked going straight. The turns, I was like, oh my god, I was holding on so tight. Oh my gosh. I can't believe there is no cockpit. Like when we were turning, I don't think this is an actual safety concern, but I definitely felt like I would have just flown out if I was not holding on so tightly. That was crazy. Did you notice how fast we were going? I forgot to look.
I never looked.
Yeah. Well, it felt pretty fast.